Well, good evening, everyone. Psychic Sarah Jane here for another episode of Welcome Your Woo. Listen, I'm super excited to dive in tonight to something that is just my passion, my purpose, my heart, my soul. It's literally everything. So, tonight I'm just going to be bringing to you what self care really means to me, why I've made it such a mission and purpose and passion of mine, and how it really is intertwined and connected to our psychic abilities, our spirituality, and how we actually receive messages from spirit, our guides, and the divine. So, I'm going to tap into some of my own personal story this evening because what I like to do is always teach through my experiences. I really do truly feel like I came here and was put on this planet to go through certain things, learn from them, and then go teach others how to overcome them. And one of the things that I've had to learn how to master is my self care. And so they always say, if you want to master something, go teach it. So here I am. I also have, in the process of that, come to really come to found like this desire to have a healthier body. And as someone who has yo-yo dieted and lost 50 plus pounds more than 5 times in my life, when I began applying the self-care, the weight came off in a way that I never imagined. And I'm going to talk about that tonight as well. And the reason that I'm going to really start diving into this month, because here we are, welcome to February. How are we here already? Like, that was so fast. Who agrees with that? We got here in like 30 seconds, it feels like. But when we think of February, we often think about this being our love month, right? Because we celebrate, a lot of us do some celebrate Valentine's Day, and not everywhere. However, it's kind of a commercialized holiday. And while I don't necessarily love those, I do think it is a time that we can take our focus and our attention and direct it in a way that really feels aligned with our soul. So if we look at the true intention behind love, it starts with ourself. We have been taught for so long to take care of other people, especially as if you're a mother, a nurturer, caretaker in any type of way of others. We've been conditioned and programmed to take care of the house, take care of the kids, make sure that the laundry's done, all the things, right? And at the end of that, if there's a partner, taking care of our partner, the job, if we're working, whatever it is that's being done. And then afterwards, we get what's left over. As a mother of 6, and at one point I was a single mother of 5 children, I know what that's like. And I lived my life like that for many years. And then there just came a point where I was like, something's not working, something's got to give. And 20 years of studying and being deep into personal development work, I came to realize what was missing. So when you look at the personal development industry on a whole, this is my belief and perspective. Let me just preface it with that. Many of the teachers and teachings that we see, whether it's in a video we're watching, a book that we're reading, a seminar that we're attending, they're teaching lots of tools and resources to help support us to better ourselves, but they're not teaching the spiritual pieces of it. They're taking out this whole part that's connected to this bigger thing, the divine, spirit source, God creator, Nancy, Franklin, I don't care what you call it. That thing that we know is bigger than us, that we come from, the infinite source. And it's really interesting because I just said, what am I doing? I was actually told I had to keep these things separate, that my self-care movement needed to stay on one space, and my teachings of psychic development needed to stay in another. And I'm like, one doesn't go without the other. And I've been trying to figure out how to partner the two, how to marry them. And I did it. And how did I do that? Well, I created a movement and a challenge called the 30 Days of Me, where you take 30 days of nurturing yourself and loving yourself through meditation, through affirmations, through visualizations and intention. And so when you intentionally take care of yourself and you intentionally ground into your energy and you intentionally focus on your self-love, you naturally become grounded into your energy, which allows you to become a channel to receive information. That's how we open and expand, especially through the process of meditation, which I teach in this class. So I'm having this 30-day challenge that I'm creating that I want to put out to the world as a movement, because what I keep talking about is, can you imagine for a moment? Can you just imagine for a moment if the entire world started loving all of themselves fully, completely, and taking care of themselves and giving from a place of abundant overflow, like from their abundance, from their overflow? Can you imagine what would that feel like on a mass level? So I'm creating this movement, and I ran this challenge last year in July, and I got to witness people have the most incredible, amazing results. And I decided to run this again. Only I've gone through some more things in my own life that has prepared me and a next level experience. And I'm so excited. But tonight, I really want to dive into one of the biggest results I had from doing this, because I don't just want to invite you and tell you to come do it because you should. I'm going to show you what can happen if you do it. And I'm going to share with you tonight how I was able to shed 60 pounds wild in a year with ease. Okay. And people have been blown away because they're like, well, what is losing weight have anything to do with your psychic abilities? A whole lot. I discovered so much. So I'm going to talk about that right now. I'm going to kind of dive a little deeper into this and share some of my own experience that helped me level up for this challenge that I'm launching here on February 17th that I really want to invite people into. So I have called out 10 steps that I took to help me shed the weight. And before I dive into those 10 steps, the first thing I want to say is that we are powerful beings. And when we speak words, they hold energy, frequency, vibration. Okay. And if we're mindful of how we use certain words and pay attention to them, we can change everything. So I used to say losing weight, and I stopped saying that because to lose means to find it again. If it's lost, I can find it. Then I used to say release the weight, and I shifted out of that real estate background and understanding the definition of lease. I wasn't wanting to bring it back. So I've shifted to shed, because shed is gone. It's not here anymore. So I shed 60 pounds from January of 2024 to January of 2025, following these 10 steps. The first thing I did was somatic movement. In September of 2023, I attended a women's festival in St. Louis. It was just incredible. It was so amazing. One of the most powerful, life-changing experiences I've ever had. And at that event, there was an ecstatic, or also known as elevated dance, and I fell in love. I had been begging for some type of exercise that I would like. And what I came to realize was I didn't need necessarily an exercise program. I needed something that felt fun, or that made me excited, that didn't make me dread it. And then I tried to figure out, why did I dread exercise? And magically, my little 7-year-old unicorn oracle, like walking oracle, shows up yesterday to show me why. Some of you, this might blow your mind. She told me that she's in first grade. She told me that at school, she has to run laps if they get in trouble. Personal development mom over here, who's always paying attention to our thoughts and how we respond or react to things, and the energy around a situation and how we feel about it, immediately goes to, and the subconscious and how it stores it there, and then makes it keep believing it, goes to, oh, they're using exercise as a form of punishment, which creates this resistance to it. Oh my gosh, That's what happened to me. I suddenly was remembering how this was done to me in school as well. So imagine how we've been using laps and running and push-ups and pull-ups and physical, um, you know, activity to as a form of punishment to children over generations of time. Because this has been going on for a long time, right? This isn't new. This isn't something new. Did something, have to go run laps, right? Oh, now I'll do push-ups, but it creates this negative energy around it, causing resistance in the subconscious mind. So then when you're being asked to do it, you don't want to. So somatic movement is intuitively listening to your body and how it needs to move and what it needs to do, like just listening. And so I started moving in whatever way felt good for me. And it became just dance parties. I would turn music on and move. Sometimes I would turn on music that made me feel happy, and I would jump around and claim all of my affirmations as I did it. Sometimes if I was in a low and I was feeling sad and I needed to let go of some things that perhaps I was holding on to, I would imagine that I was letting it all go as I was moving. I would squeeze my arms and say, oh, I'm releasing any, or letting go or shedding any limiting belief projected onto me. Anything ever said that wasn't true that I took on as my own to redefine who I was that wasn't truth. And so during that movement is just letting go. During the movement, because it becomes almost meditative, you can receive downloads of information, intuitive hits, the intuitive hit to move a different way and listening. So it becomes a practice of listening to your body, which becomes a practice of trusting your intuition. So that's the first thing I did. The second thing I did is I recited affirmations every single day. There was one specifically that I always said, I am healthy and I weigh, and then I inserted my weight. So perhaps you want to do that. About a month before I hit the goal number, I was close. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm almost at the weight. I'm almost there. I was so excited. And then I remember writing the next affirmation and I wrote a new weight. For the first time in my life, my driver's license weight and my actual weight were the same. Come on, y'all know that you have been lying on your driver's licenses. Like, I know you have, because I know I have. I don't know anyone that hasn't been lying on it. Like, especially us women be like, not telling the truth about how much we weigh. But I shifted, and those affirmations were said every day, every day, every day. I wrote them and I recited them. The next thing I did was I purged my home, my personal spaces, including relationships. There were some friendships, relationships I had to let go of. But when we hang on to all of that, okay, it's energy and we store it within the body oftentimes, especially females. We like to just store it in our hips and our arms and our backs and our legs and everywhere, right? We just store it everywhere. So we will hold on to our trauma. We will hold on to what's not serving us, or our experiences that were not fun. They just kind of reside in the body until we've actually acknowledged that they're there and we let them go. So during this purging process, what I like to mention is that take a look at your home. Look around. What closets do you have to clean out? What drawers do you need to, we all have a junk drawer, right? Clean the junk drawers out. If you have money to spend, go spend it so that you can welcome in more to come. Like if you're sitting there with gift cards that are like 3-4 years old and you haven't used them, go spend those, because you're blocking more from coming in. Go spend them. But purging, when you're purging your home, because your home is often a reflection of what's happening on the inside. Not always, but it can be. So take a look. Sometimes you have to clean out your email box because it creates an energy. So whenever you clear that out, you create the space that reflects back in the physical body. You clear that out, your body shrinks because it doesn't need to hang on to all of that because it lets it go as well. Number 4. I'm going to talk about number 4 and number 5 together. So number 4 is I envisioned eating healthy. I envisioned it. Number 5 is I envisioned exercising. Now check this out. Well, I talk about my little Oracle 7-year-old magical unicorn, Camille. She walks up to me in January of 2024 as I'm sitting on the couch with my other psychic friend. And she pulls a book off of my bookshelf, opens it to a certain page, hands the book to me, and says, "You need to read this," and then takes off running. So she's 6 at the time that she does this. And my other friend that's psychic says, this is about to be some golden nugget she just dropped here. And she dropped a Dr. Joe Dispenza book in my lap, and the page that it was opened up to was him discussing how he had 2 different groups of people that wanted to lose weight, and he took one of them through a diet and exercise program, and he took the other group of people through a process of envisioning that they were exercising every day, like taking time to sit down and just visualize it in their mind that they were doing it, and visualize eating healthy. Guess what? The 2 groups had the same results. So I don't know if you guys have ever followed Dr. Joe Dispenza, but he is all things quantum, and I'm always fascinated and really resonate with a lot of what he says. So I'm like, you know what? Why not just try this? Like, what's the worst could happen? I don't lose any weight, right? Like, it's okay. Let's just check it out and see what occurs. So I began to imagine myself running on a track every day. I imagined myself running up and down stairs. I imagined myself in a gym lifting weights. I imagined myself doing push-ups, pull-ups, all the things. I imagined myself doing it. I imagined myself eating healthy. I would eat a donut and say, "Oh my gosh, this is the best strawberry I've ever had." I am telling the truth. I literally would do this. And I did this I keep doing this. I'm still doing it. And over time, though, what happened, here's what got super interesting. What began to happen was sometimes I would wake up in the morning, and even though I hadn't lifted weights, my arms felt like they had, because my body thinks it did it. Sometimes I lost my thought. I don't know where it went. Bring it back. Sometimes I'll just be flowing and I look over and I lost it. So let me bring that back for a minute. But I would just imagine myself doing these things. I would imagine myself eating the healthy food. I would imagine myself exercising. And what happened is I started to shift my eating habits. I didn't intentionally change them, but over time they changed. So like that donut that I would go to eat didn't sound good. Or if I did eat it, I would take a couple of bites and it wouldn't taste good to me. And I remember my friends, they will tell you, like I have a solid group of supporters, and I would text them like, "I don't know what's going on. I'm not able to eat." And I realized after about 6 months, it was like this reset that was happening inside my body, because I had been telling the subconscious mind for several months at this point that I like healthy food. I don't like these other foods, and I'm only eating these things. So it began to just change. And so I couldn't eat certain foods anymore. It just like went away, you guys. It was the most amazing thing. Like drinking sugary sodas and stuff, all of that, it just went away. All right. So let's dive into number 7. All right. So number 7 is hydration with intention. And I'm going to do number 8 at the same time. Number 8 is eating with intention. So hydration with intention, eating with intention. Now, when we think of religious and spiritual practices that have been going on forever, we know that prayer is often done prior to eating, but I have come to discover there's actually something about that. And when we actually send intention and love into the water or the food that we are about to ingest into our body, and we ask it to nourish us, we are connecting with the divine. Because if you think about it, everything is part of the great divine. Everything. It does not matter. Nothing is separate. Everything is energy. So including the water and the food. So speaking love into my water, asking it to nourish or provide me with the hydration that it's meant to, and then speaking love and intention into the food as well. So asking that food to give me the nutrients that my body needs to absorb what it's taking in that is necessary for me. So when you do that, it also shifts the way that your body processes on an energetic level what you are ingesting. I know it sounds wild. I know it sounds so out there. But however, I am living proof of this. I literally shed 60 pounds over a year, and it's just over a pound, right? Over a pound a month. What is that? Over a pound a week is what that is. Okay. It's just over a pound a week in a year. So it's slow and steady because I have dropped weight, like lots of weight in short amount of time. And listen, I've done everything, you guys. I have done everything. This became an inside job. This became a spiritual experience for me. And it really became a self-love. Like I realized that we are to love all of us first before we can fully give and love to others. It's true. So the next thing I did, number 9, I did a 76-hour water fast. Now it's supposed to be like 72. I might have been 78. It was supposed to be 72. However, because of what time I started it and when I woke up, it was a 76-hour water fast. I did not tell anyone I was doing it. That's such the SJ way sometimes, because I was afraid if I didn't finish it, I didn't want anyone to, I didn't want to have to tell anyone I messed it up. I wanted to just see if I could do it, because 3 days on just water is a long time. Now, I'm not saying go do this. If you know, make sure that you go do your own thing to figure out what is healthy for you. But this is just what I did. So I'm only telling this for my own purposes. But I did this water fast, and I believe that it was a reset to my metabolism, and I set the intention for it to be that. And I feel like it was, because that's the intention I set for it. So doing the water fast are really help to, even if you do a 24 or 12-hour water fast, they're super supportive in helping to reset your metabolism. All right, that takes me to number 10. And this may be the most important one, okay? I had support. I made sure through my self-care experience of the 30 days of me, because I was doing them every month, that I had support. Because part of the 30 days of me is we create a community. We create our own tribe. We are responsible for creating our tribe to support us, right? It's no one else's responsibility to find my support. That's mine. And this isn't on here. I don't have this number on here, but one of the things I did was I took radical responsibility for myself, for my life, for my body, for my experiences. When we take radical responsibility, it pulls us out of victim. And then that's when the magic happens, because we can move through and not keep repeating. That's how we get off that hamster wheel a lot of times that we get stuck on. But the support is so important, okay? Most of the time, why we don't finish our goals, why we don't follow through with the intentions that we set, is because we lack support, because we get this super excited, motivated inspiration in the beginning, and then it begins to fade out, and there's no one there to breathe the belief back into us when we forget who we are. And that's one of the things that I'm super focused on by creating these self-care experiences, is to help others learn how to really grow their own community and create their tribe and the support that they need in order to move through the things that they face that are challenging. So I'll go through them really quickly again, just one by one. Somatic movement was number 1. Number 2 was daily affirmations. Number 3 was I purged my home, personal spaces, and even relationships, friendships. I envisioned eating healthy, was number 4. Number 5 was I envisioned exercising. Number 6 was, oh, I forgot this one. I totally skipped over it. I skipped it. Didn't even know it until I went to say it. So number 6, I haven't told you yet, I'm telling you right now, was I envisioned a mental picture of what I desired to look like. So there's a photo of me where I just always like, oh, that's the That's what I want to be again. And I would imagine that in my mind every day when I was also doing the other envisioning practices. I would set time aside every day to do this. Number 7 was hydration with intention. Number 8 is eating with intention. Number 9 was a water fast. And then last but not least, number 10 was support. So it was through my own intentions of, doing my self-care and the self-care that I recommend people following. I have a whole workbook. You guys can go on Amazon and check it out. It's called the 30 Days of Me self-care, 30 Days of Me workbook, a self-care accelerator. So you can check that out on Amazon. And my purpose in that workbook is to take you through all the steps of practicing your self-care every single day. Now, some people can't get through all of it in one day. It's taken me years. I've been doing this since 2021. So, and I put it out to the world just last year with a workbook and the movement. And now I have some other things that are launching with it as well. So these are going to be super exciting. Definitely go on Amazon and check out the workbook. And then I'd like to invite you into my Facebook group, because in that space is where I share all of the extra details and all of the fun. So make sure you check out my Facebook group, which is, you could go to Welcome Your Woo with Psychic Sarah Jane is the group. Or if you just go to my regular page, Sarah Jane Patton, you can actually get to the pinned post that's available that will take you, excuse me, that will take you to a link with all the information about the challenge that is coming up, as well as a link to the Facebook group. So you can get to all of that from my page. It's pinned, just take a look at it. So I definitely am creating a movement out of this experience. So please, if you feel called, if there's something that I said today that inspired you, if there's something that made you feel like it was a call to check it out, just go do that, because those are your intuitive hits dropping in. And that's one of the things that we'll be practicing. So in this challenge, I'm not just going to be teaching the self-care, I'm going to be teaching intuitive development as well, because the two go together. So this will be different than anything else self-care that other teachers are teaching. And I'm super excited and super stoked to bring you guys into this and help create a life that you truly desire to have. You get to be a conscious creator of your life. And I want to teach you how to do that. Okay. And I want to teach you how to connect to your higher self and how to really begin trusting your intuition and listening to what your body is saying to you and what it's guiding you to do. The only time your intuition doesn't work is when you don't trust it. All right, you guys, I am so grateful to have been here this evening to really share with you this 30 Days of Me movement that I am creating. Please go to my Facebook group and check it out. I have specials on sessions as well right now too. So until then, if you're looking for more clarity or spiritual guidance, you can book a personal session with me too. Then check that out on sarahjanepatton.com. I do look forward to serving you guys again soon and continuing this conversation next week. Bye for now.